Dear colleagues, welcome to my hospital at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. This is phacoemulsification of a preintumescent white cataract. Let us observe the surgical steps. This is the main incision. It's a 2.8 mm incision on the posterior aspect of the limbus. Now this is a side port on the right side of the main incision. And now this is an air bubble. I want to stain the anterior capsule of this cataractus lens with trypan blue dye, and here goes the dye. The dye must be sprayed evenly, uniformly over the anterior capsule. And now I wash the dye out of the anterior chamber with BSS. And now, after removing this dye, I inject viscoelastic substance, and this is 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose. Now one more side port I made. In this case, this is on the left side of the main incision. The side ports are about 2.5 clock hours away from the main incision. And now capsular rhexis is to be done. I incise the capsule with a 26 gauge pen needle, and there is no leakage of any fluid, but there is some bulge of the cortex, and there is lot of convexity the anterior surface of the lens, and I call this preintumescent cataract. In these cases also I do two-stage rhexis, that is a small rhexis first, and then I remove some cortex to decrease the convexity of this cataractus lens. So here some cortical matter is squeezed towards the opening, and it is aspirated by this 23 gauge Simcoe cannula, and here comes a big chunk of cortex. From the posterior aspect along the equator it came anteriorly. And now there is lot of flattening of the anterior surface. Now this is a bit of viscoat, and underneath this viscoat this is 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose. Viscoat contains chondroitin sulfate, which is a very good protector of corneal endothelium. Now I make a small nick at the margin of this rhexis, and now I enlarge this to an optimum sized rhexis. When the intralenticular pressure has been reduced, the convexity of the anterior surface has been taken care of, the rhexis can be done very easily, and it becomes a round rhexis almost. And now the tip of the phaco handpiece is introduced into the anterior chamber. The tip is turned, the bevel is up towards the corneal endothelium. The tip is buried into the substance of the nucleus. The nucleus is held very firmly, and it is chopped. This cataract was found very brittle, and it is not very hard. Nuclear sclerosis will be about grade 3, and it is very brittle, and it's a joy to chop this kind of nucleus. Settings: power in this case was 60%, flow rate was 45 ml per minute, and vacuum was 450 mm of mercury. And here is the management of the nucleus completed. And now some viscoelastic substance is injected. This is HPMC, and now I take a 23 gauge Simcoe introduced through the main incision and remove the cortical matter. See how easily you can remove the cortex with a Simcoe cannula. Most of the cortex has been removed, a little bit is there, subincisional area, and this is removed. And now in this case we have selected a Hoya non-aspheric intraocular lens. And it's a beautiful lens. This is viscoelastic substance filling up the anterior chamber, distending the bag, and here goes the intraocular lens. The beauty of this preloaded system is that through 2.8 mm incision, the tip goes totally into the anterior chamber, and this preloaded system is the best in the market at present. The lens has been placed in the bag. The lens is not nicely centered because the haptics are not yet totally open, not totally to its previous position. The cortex is thoroughly cleaned. This portion of the video is edited a little bit, and now I inject a little bit of moxifloxacin and then hydrate the side ports. The corneal stroma on either side of these stab wounds are hydrated, and these stab wounds close, becomes watertight. And after closing the side ports, this is the final lavage of the anterior chamber with 23 gauge Simcoe again. And here I'm going to dial the lens, and I'm going to place it, try to place it nicely so that the rim all around, the rim of the optic is covered by the anterior capsular rim, and it has been nicely covered. The anterior chamber is formed and the case is concluded. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this video will give you some very essential tips to manage pre-intumescent cataracts.